Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today is what is it?
It's Warlock Wednesday.
This way,
Yeah, they're
Warlock
W's-ish.
Wednesday.
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Why not? We're doing one of my favorite invocations. I love this one very dearly. It's
Yeah,
one with shadows.
yeah. We're coming off. Well, we had a decent one last time, but the ones prior to that were not so hot. But this one is one I like too.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of one with shadows. So it's got requisite 5th level, which is pretty fair because what it says is when you are in an area of dim light or darkness, you can use your action to become invisible until you move or take an action or a reaction. So it gives you kind of like the Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, I can't be perceived if I don't move, but in actuality, you can actually just stop and turn invisible whenever you'd like, as long as you're in dim light or darkness, which is not a particularly high bar to meet if you're trying to build this kind of character.
Yeah,
So it's so sweet.
it's cool. When do you use this? How do you use this?
That's a complicated question that doesn't have a great easy answer. The obvious option, right, is you're in some sort of breaking and entering kind of mission. You're in a noble's estate that you're not supposed to be. You're in the dungeon being patrolled by skeletons that you're not supposed to be, and you hear them coming and you go, everyone get somewhere else, and then you turn invisible. Or maybe you're just like you're doing the solo infiltration mission here, right, where everyone else is waiting for you to get back with it, but you're the only one that can turn invisible at will, so you're the one tasked with sneak in, turn invisible, the guards show up, and let them pass, and then you keep going and doing your thing. That is, I think, like the most obvious use case, and I think that's more common than people give it credit. Passing guards and stuff like that, patrols, they can be run. It's going to vary on your DM, but I like to run patrols a decent amount. I think they're useful to. They'll normally come on a fixed timer. Like I know when the players are down this hallway, there's going to be a patrol that comes with them, and
Mhm.
if they think about it ahead of time, they can be like, okay, well, who's guarding this? So let's find out what their patrol schedule is, and they can work around it and feel like they're smart and stuff. And this plays into that really well. But beyond just like turning invisible, letting the guards walk directly past you, this also is just a really great tool for setting up being invisible for a future event, right? So if you're going to the tavern at 3 a.m. and you turn invisible in the corner and you just stay there, you stay invisible regardless of the light level change, right? The only condition
Right.
on you being invisible is if you started in dim light or darkness. So you can just use that as a way to observe the whole day invisibly in the tavern if you want. Now, tavern's not a great option because people are bustling around and throwing dishes and maids are carrying around giant flasks of ale and whatnot. But if you need to find a place to stake out for a while and be invisible doing so, this is a really easy tool to do that with. It also can just be I'm getting utterly decimated in this combat encounter. I'd like everyone to have a disadvantage on attack rolls for me this round, one with shadows. I'm invisible now. And then next turn, you'll have advantage on your attack rolls coming out of it if you want to. You could have other different options to set it up. Maybe you're like, run around a corner, turn invisible, they turn around the corner, and then you bash them.
Yeah, what you said about the change in light statuses is neat because just when I picture the theatrics of it, you sneak into a corner, the guard holds his lantern up, and the audience is thinking, "Uh-oh," but he shines it exactly to where you are, but there's nothing there. Yeah, that's
Wild.
really cool.
Yeah. Well, how would you use this? You've heard my examples.
Like that.
Just like that. Just the cinematic guard turning lantern, candlelit in the evil manner in the early morning.
I mean, I don't know. You covered a lot of bases. The thing you said about the bar, like 3 in the morning, all that noise and commotion going around is good because even being invisible, people can try to scope you out through listening, hearing you breathe or whatever, and you're pretty well covered there.
Yeah, just don't get bumped into.
Yeah, that's a hazard.
Yeah.
You
I
could
think
hang out in the rafters.
that's a really easy way to do it. They probably weren't going to see you anyway. Well, maybe they would have. You never know. Maybe
Oh yeah,
they're
yeah.
low hanging rafters. You could
I
just
mean,
hang on a chandelier, just wait around. That could work. I like this on small characters a lot. I think it's really cute that you can just like go under a table where there's dim light and just stop existing. So like, in the middle of a big scuffle, just being able to lose eyesight with somebody and stop being there will confuse them. And that's really cool whenever you're in a high stakes environment where you're like, okay, I need to get out of this alive. There's like 12 armed people in this room trying to kill me. If I can find any dim light or darkness that is out of eyesight, I'm gone. And they don't know where I went necessarily. Now, if they know you have one with shadows, you're a little bit screwed because they'll be like, there's only one place they could be, and it's in that corner. And we're going to start smashing that corner with our morning stars. But if they don't know that, they'll turn the corner, not see anybody, look around. Maybe they don't check the space that you are literally standing in.
it is a little frustrating not being able to move. I could
Yeah.
see a lot of tense moments there where If you had regular invisibility, danger. Like, all right, these big burly guys are about to enter the room. I turn invisible, wait for them to settle in, I slip out the door.
Sure.
In this case, I sneak in the room, turn invisible, and they're in there, and whatever they're doing, I just have to wait it out silently.
So I think I like this form of invisibility because the downside is really substantial. Like you just said, not being able to move is huge. You have to be in a position where you go, I need to be able to wait this out. I need to use it in clever positions that give me the very powerful ability of being invisible, but not like I can't move or take other actions or take advantage of it otherwise. You have to find ways to make it while still. And it being at will makes that a lot less of a super big downside because you have a lot more opportunities to try and do things with it and mess around with it, come up with different ideas of how to use it. And you can still take invisibility if you want to on Warlock. You can hit like your whole party with your pack magic if you want to, but you could just take this instead. And then you can have a little bit of a unique invisibility in your toolkit that is a little bit harder to play with, it asks you to figure out how do I get the most out of this kind of interesting little feature. And I like that.
Oh yeah, me too. You're usually the fan, and I guess you still are, the fan of things that I don't know, maybe hinder you more than help you, and having to work your way around that. In this case, I agree with you. I think that's fun.
Yeah. I like One with Shadows a lot. It's with how cheap invisibility is, this can't ever be that good, right? Because invisibility is so much better than this. Like it is leaps and bounds. Being able to move is
Yeah.
huge, and you get it for an hour, and you can just do it wherever. Like there's no conditions on it or anything. I think if invisibility were a third level spell, this would be a lot more exciting. But it's not. It's a second level spell, so we're left with One with Shadows still being a. If you don't have someone with invisibility in the group, and because you're a warlock and pack magic, it's a little bit worse on you than it would be on like a wizard or a sorcerer or any of the myriad of characters that can get it through subclasses. You can pretty safely take this and be a cool little trickster invisibility based character. And I think that's probably where it has its biggest home. It's still not like game breaking or anything, but an at will invisibility can't ever be that bad. I find this one's really fun to play with.
All right, it is at will and only costs an action. They're like, all right, so you're in the room.
It's at will caveat, dim light darkness. Those two conditions do matter.
Yes. All right, you're in the room. The horde of big burly guys comes in. You're scared. You're in there all alone. You're invisible for now, but they're not looking like they're going to leave anytime soon. You got places to be. You say, screw it, run out the door. You're visible, but they don't have time to react.
Yeah, what's happening?
Right.
A person just appeared in the room.
Right. As soon as you get out the door, invisible again.
They run out looking for you. Where did they go? Chase after down in corridors or whatever. You're just like hiding in the little corner. This is fun.
You catch your breath.
Yep.
Take off again, and duck around a corner. Invisible.
It leads to so many fun little play patterns like
that,
yeah, right? There are gonna be so many moments where even in like team play, the warlock is going to be like, I don't know what you're gonna do about this problem, team. I know what I'm gonna do about this problem. See that little corner over there with the dim light? Yeah, that's where I'm going. See you later. And then they're gonna go get invisible in there, and everyone else has to figure out how to not be seen by the dragon. And that's sweet. That's a super fun moment.
Yeah, if you're a dick about it like that, they're gonna sell you out to the dragon.
Sometimes.
All right. Yeah, this one's a lot of fun. I could see myself putting this on a warlock. It's like I said, gated at level 5. That doesn't bother me. Level 5 seems fair.
I agree.
Yeah. It gives me time to get the other invocations I want. The
sure.
Probably more useful ones.
I imagine at 5th level, like if you want One with Shadows, you're gonna forgo one of your earlier ones and then also get Thirsting Blade, or also get another important one to whatever your combat stuff is. Because normally you want like one, at least like Thirsting Blade is the big one for melee warlocks, right? If you want to do extra attack, you need that at 5th level. And this comes at 5th level, you kind of have to take it here. But then you can always switch one out whenever you level up 2, and that's where you could like also slot this in. I can envision a lot of Hexblades wanting this. I can envision a lot of different groups, like a lot of different characters, specifically archetypes, that love the idea of being an invisible demonic warlock, right? An invisible eldritch otherworldly warlock. It marries the fantasy really beautifully. Like we talked recently about Giant Insect, and I said I want magic to feel magical. This feels that way to me, right? This feels like you're absorbing the darkness around you to become invisible. And it's not permanent invisibility. It's not you can do whatever you want. It's not like turning on a cheat code. No, you have to work within its rules, its guidelines. And I want more of this in the game. Give me more One with Shadows, please.
Yes, please. All right. Well, you got a rating for this one?
I think it's probably a 3. Entirely reasonable. I put it on some character sheets, not breaking the game in half, but it's very fun.
Yeah, and for that reason, I'll give it a 4. You ask more for a 4 than I do.
I do.
But that's fine.
We have
All
different reasons, right?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
looking at how much does it change the table? You're like, how much do I like it?
Yeah, exactly. All right, that was One with Shadows. Thank you, Sam, and thank you, everyone, for this glorious Warlock Wednesday. Let us know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe and all that, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.